It's a beautiful summer's day. The breeze is stupendous. I want to dance. Let me show you how.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to We Are the South Stand, where I am joined by my good friend Patrick, and I will shortly be joined by my good friend Patrick.
Pat and Pat show. It's always good when
it's got a ring to it.
So good we had to do it twice.
Yeah, the Pat and Pat show. It's like the Pep and Pep show and the Pat and Pat show.
Pep and Pep, the Ray and Ray, the Reijnders and Linders.
I have a question. Yeah. Who's more the pep talker? The pep talker or the pep talker who gives Pep a pep talk?
Pep talker.
Shoulders back, smash it.
And just like that, here he is, the Pat and Pat show. It's Pep and Pep, Pat and Pat. Oh, and he's gone and brought back that shirt as well. How is everyone today on the first official day of the transfer window? I know yesterday was the opening, but how a transfer window can open on a Sunday, I do not know.
I don't know. It was a strange one, isn't it? But I had a feeling, because when I saw that news saying Cherki and Reijnders the deal seemed to be far gone, I told one of the guys, I think I said it on the stream, I was like, I have a feeling by Monday or Tuesday we'll start seeing fullbacks. Because the Norwich stories went down, didn't they? They went quiet. But the Sunday transfer window, I knew nobody would be announced on a Sunday.
There we go. Sack everyone. We hadn't signed no one yet.
Yeah, I knew nobody would be
over the line.
Get them out. Get them out.
Get them out.
Did Cunha at United Cunha at United got announced yesterday, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Yeah, Cunha got announced yesterday, so he was the only one. But apart from that, I think we are going to see a lot. But this Ait-Nouri story, I'm excited, Dubs, because I thought it was just fantasy. It's been there for years, and for the fact that the story comes out that we've been looking at him for 12 months, I'm like, yeah, finally, a fallback.
Bro, do you know what I like about this one, is that it's like, so for me, it's a signing I really want. Obviously, it did go a bit quiet last week. Obviously, there was a lot of talk on Cherki, a lot of talk on Reijnders. I hope I'm pronouncing that right now. So I'm getting stick in the comments about not pronouncing it right. But the Ait-Nouri one had gone quiet, a bit like the Cambiasso one went quiet. But
Cambiasso seems.
I don't know. It's good to know that. Do you know what? I honestly do think the whole Livramento, the whole Wirtz thing. I think when we didn't get Wirtz, or when we realised we're not getting Wirtz, I do think like the board and Pep had to get back together and reevaluate. And I know Khaldoon spoke about how on Monday they had a meeting, right, with all of them. And I think that was probably discussing that. Right, we know we've got because it was the Monday after we secured Champions League football. So we know we've got Champions League football. We know we've got that money coming in. We know what we can offer players. We know we're not getting Wirtz, which means we've got, like I was saying, we've got this budget that we need to realign. And I honestly think now they've looked at that, not getting Wirtz, and gone, okay, we're not getting Wirtz. Well, in that case, what's the next option? Reijnders and Cherki. Cool. Well, we're not hitting the homegrown quota. We need to hit the homegrown quota. What do we do? Okay, well, there's extra money there because we're not getting Wirtz. Go and get fucking Livramento. And for me, the fact that we really are looking at Livramento makes me very happy.
He's not going away, is it? But
no, it's not going away. He's coming, bro. No. It's one that I'm still right. Let me be clear. I still don't know if we get Livramento, right? Because I know it's going to be a fucking tough one to get over the line. But the fact that we are looking at Livramento is very promising. That's the type of fullbacks we need to be looking at. Ait-Nouri and Livramento, that tells me the board's on job with what they're looking at the moment.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Dubs, because there's a few things that have been happening over the last few months that sort of draw parallels to where we were back in 2017. Older squad, we underperformed in a season. Now all of a sudden we're looking at really, making a statement this summer. And first things first is we're looking at trying to get some big names in to play as fullbacks. Yeah. Just like we did back in 2017 with Mendy and Walker, and it's almost uncanny. The parallels are uncanny, basically. Yeah. Like it does feel like we are revisiting 8 years ago.
Sorry, I can throw it back to I think 7 or 8 years before that as well. So 7 or 8
Yes.
years before that, we got Kolarov
Yes.
and we got Boateng and we got Yaya and we got David Silva. And
Yeah.
I've said this before that there does
We
seem
basically
to be-
built an entire core just with those 4. Yeah.
Yeah, but it does seem to be that a big, massive rebuild needs to be done every 8 years.
Seems
And
about right.
maybe
Yeah.
that's why City, and by the way, they got it wrong. It should have been done last summer. However, it does seem to be a thing that every 7, 8 years, you need to have a big transfer window. You could probably say the same with Liverpool, right? If you go and look at Liverpool, when they got Alisson and Van Dijk, what was that? Probably 8, 9 years ago?
That was the January after we'd done all our signings.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah.
And my personal thoughts are, I don't want to sound conspiracy or tin hat or anything like that, but I always think, part of me also thinks that obviously with Liverpool's owners being the Family Sports Group, I find it funny how, they went and got Alisson and Van Dijk in that, I believe, was it the January window? No, Van Dijk was January, wasn't it?
I think Van Dijk was the January one. Yeah,
Van Dijk was January. I can't remember if Alisson was.
But they came in together, didn't they? They came in together.
Because I kind of put 2 and 2 together because I realized that Family Sports Group is obviously the owner of the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox had just won the World Series that season as well. So they had huge cash injections coming into that sports group as well,
right,
too. So
okay.
I think that was a big contributing factor to them being able to spend a lot on those players that they wanted to spend on as well, too.
Yeah. Anyone asking if Martin's joining? I don't know. He did just mention that. I've sent him the link, so we'll see if Martin joins. We'll see if he's got a tan line or not. But no, look. So for those that don't know, breaking news. Which one? Sorry. Which one is more quench? Which one is more refreshing?
Oh yeah, you're right. They agreed with Van Dijk. They announced Van Dijk 27th of December, saying we've agreed everything.
Whoa! No! There's breaking news.
Oh, what has happened? Oh, sorry, my bad. I went to research the Van Dijk.
The breaking news is which one should I open? Fanta Lemon or
It's the
Fruit
daytime.
Twist?
You got to have it's daytime, basically summer. You got to go lemon.
Yeah, lemon. Yeah.
Do you know what?
Actually,
I'm gonna make a poll.
What's the red one? What flavor is the red one?
Fruit Twist.
Fruit Twist.
So fruit.
I'd go the fruit twist.
Right?
No, because it's still early in the day. I'd go the fruit twist and then have the lemon one in the afternoon.
So interesting. Yesterday I bought my favorite grape. Had that yesterday, right?
Yeah, the grape one's sick.
Yeah.
But then fruit twist is 80p. Lemon is £1.40.
Keep buying the fruit twist. Save some money.
Because
still cheaper than over here.
Apparently, it's an American import, but I mean, you can get Fanta Lemon in England, so it's not my fault that the shop's gone and bought a fucking import.
Careful where you tread with that too, Dabs, because you know where Fanta was invented.
Where?
1930s Germany.
Really?
Yep.
Oh well,
there was a trade embargo. There was a trade embargo from Coca-Cola selling their corn syrup to Germany, obviously because of what was happening over there. So Coca-Cola in Germany had to make their own orange-based drink, and that's where Fanta was invented.
Actually, hold on. Fanta Exotic. Because there's two. There's Fanta Exotic and there's Fanta Tropical, right? Mm-hmm. The one that's got watermelon in it, I don't like. I like the other one. I don't know if that is exotic or the green one. Yeah, the green one. Bro, the best. Most elite Fanta out there. Most elite Fanta out there.
We don't get these here.
Oh.
We don't get these here. Only just recently as Fanta converted into lemon drink.
I think the grape one is good. Have you tried the grape one? The grape one is
banging.
When it's cold, you need it when it's cold though. You can't have it warm. You need it cold, very cold.
Oh yeah, they have to be cold, bro. They have to be cold. It is the exotic one, though, special. I had this other one once. I can't remember what it was called, right? But it just tasted of fizz. That's all it tasted of. It was like in a clear bowl. Anyway,
boxes and
it was like one of those candies where you bite it and it just starts fizzing up.
Yeah, it was really, really weird. Actually, have either of you two ever had them air? What are they called? Air dried sweets or something? Patrick, your little girl must like them. It's like you're on mute.
You're on mute, mate.
You're still on mute.
Wait, I'm still on mute.
No, you're not now.
No, you're all right now. You're right.
Yeah, no, freeze dried. That's it. Freeze dried sweets. Have either of you tried them? They're mad as fuck. So basically, you get like Skittles or anything like that, and then they're freeze dried, and they're like chalky, like they taste like Skittles, but they're chalky. Anyway, let's get back to football talk. I am going to open the Fanta Lemon. I've decided.
Welcome to Confectionery Corner with Daps.
Yeah, maybe that's what I should do. Maybe that would be more of a success.
just start a sweet tooth mukbang.
Watch me get fatter every show.
By December, we'll just be heavy breathing for 2 hours.
Right, Patrick, you muted again, by the way.
Yeah, I was letting you guys talk. You know, I usually mute sometimes because sometimes I don't like when you have nothing to say. You usually just mute sometimes.
That's right, Pat. We're just being fat bastards for the last 30 seconds.
And then I was telling my son here that you're walking in your boxes and the whole world has just seen you. He's now mortified.
Right. So, I guess the thing is as well that I love is that we're here at the moment probably thinking this morning we were going to get a Cherki, Bomba and maybe a Reijnders or Reijnders. Because do you know the thing that throws me with Reijnders, by the way, is I'm being told by one person it's Reijnders, then next minute I'm being told by someone else it's Reijnders. So what is it?
It's Reijnders. I was told by somebody Dutch saying it's Reijnders. The court told me to say Reijnders. The pronunciation is Reijnders.
Right, okay, so Reijnders. So here we are thinking this morning we're going to get Reijnders and Cherki Bomba. But while those seem to be bubbling along nicely in the background, we just get two more fucking serious names thrown in the hat. And that's what I love. I don't know if you've also seen the Morgan Gibbs-White, that we seem to be backing away from him.
Yeah, it looks like we are. I think we're not going towards that end anymore. I think if it makes sense, though, let's think about it, right? If you sit there, and maybe the reason why they were going after Morgan Gibbs-White is for the fact of getting Wirtz. Maybe they wanted somebody with the legs with Wirtz. I don't know. It's mad that as soon as the Wirtz thing went, Morgan Gibbs-White has just gone done. It's like as if he doesn't exist anymore. So maybe these things have changed. Maybe City have plans. You know how you said we've got option 2. We know how to plan. Maybe as soon as it went towards, as you said now, Daps, that as soon as this Wirtz man is available, they're like, wow, we can buy more ballers for this money. I think Livramento. Can I ask something? If you go to Newcastle, and I'm just talking about business, because you always have to make an offer somebody can refuse. You go there with 70 million, they reject it, then you up it to 80. Are they still saying no in this market? I think they're taking that.
I tend to agree with you. This is
nobody's saying no to 80. Nobody's saying no to 80.
How much are they getting from Southampton for?
Let me see.
Because it's a good. That'd be a good turn on investment. Because he's only been there for 2 years. I could have read somewhere. Sure, it wasn't more than about 30 million.
I think as well the fact that, look, don't get me wrong. I'd love to get Morgan Gibbs-White, Reijnders, and
40 mil.
40 million, right? So they're going to, they're probably going to want. I'm not going to lie. I think 70 for a fullback sounds mental, right?
It's good money though. They can't say no to 70.
Well, 70 is a lot of money for a fullback, but Newcastle don't want to sell him, right? He's English and he's young, so we are going to probably be paying if we are in for him. I think we probably will be paying round about the 70 million mark. Now, who would you rather pay 70 for, Gibbs-White or for Livramento?
Livramento all day. You know why? Because we need 4 backs. I think this team just need 4 backs. Okay, let's think about this. Do you really think this team needs 4 back or it needs a Gibbs-White? I don't think so. Not with the signings we're making. Because we've got Nico G can play 8. We've got Nico O'Reilly can go into that midfield. We've got Foden is a midfielder. We've got Echeverry is a midfielder. We've got Cherki can play midfield. Mamouche can play into that midfield. If you think about it, let's go process of elimination. You'd rather a right back as young as Livramento, Premier League proven, be in this team than get after Reijnders, you still get Gibbs-White. I don't know. After Reijnders gets Gibbs-White doesn't make sense to me. I think
I hear you. I mean, look, it does if players leave. Because if Gundogan leaves, if Bernardo leaves, and say if Kovacic wants to leave, if Grealish leaves, if all four of them leave, I can see why we would want Morgan Gibbs-White still, because we do need like more midfielders. But I don't know if City, right, because we are heavily thinking about this homegrown rotor. I don't know if City go and do something like get a reserve keeper that's English or something like that.
There's every possibility of that, Daps, too. But I just don't want the club to be sort of handcuffed into a situation where we need to sign one more player to get us over the line, because then that just leaves all the cards, advantage to the selling team. Every bit of the advantage goes to them, so they can just basically force almost a blank check on us. Yeah. It's I don't want that to happen.
No, I hear you on that.
Yeah. You're just leaving yourself in a compromising position if you do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to be like, if we're in a position where we have to get Livramento or Gibbs-White, I'd like to know that the quota's already wrapped up before we even do that.
Yeah.
Ideally,
I hear you on that. I do hear you on that. What do you think we're going to end up playing? Nah, don't get David James. Not David James. Bring back Nicky Weaver. I don't mind Nicky Weaver, but not David James.
We'll get Aaron Moy back. He fills the quota.
David James. See, Joe Hart, I don't mind, but David James, for me, he's an ex-City player that sometimes wants to be an ex-City player, sometimes wants to be an ex-Liverpool player. Like, pick the club that you consider yourself to represent and stick with it. Don't keep swapping for jobs, you fucking bastard.
Yeah, it depends what TV station he's on, isn't it? I've noticed that whatever TV station he's on, he just turns into he wants to hype City, he wants to love City, he wants to love another club. And sometimes he's just
like some City matches, they get Owen Hargreaves on. It's like, mate, you played one game for us.
Yeah. Owen Hargreaves.
And injured for the entire rest of it. Like, what are you on about? Like,
Owen Hargreaves is a mental one for me. And I'm not going to lie on David James as well, because to me, David James, like, nah. Because the problem is, I see David James doing stuff for Liverpool Football Club, not representing them on TNT. I literally see him doing stuff for Liverpool Football Club. So it's like, all right, cool. So you're aligning yourself. Like, I'll be honest, James Milner, he's never representing City. He will never represent City now. And unfortunately, I was a big James Milner fan at City as well. But how much do you think we pay for Ait-Nouri then?
40 mil, 50 max.
2 years left on his contract,
but also too, I think even if you went up past 50, I think you're looking at a 22, 23-year-old player. Like, that's good money if you have the intentions of keeping him at the club for 8 to 10 years.
Yeah, true. Do you know what? Is Patrick? It was you that said that Ait-Nouri's got 2 years left on his contract, right?
Yeah, I think it says 2026.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I could see him going for 35. I could see him going for 35 million. Yeah,
well, the less of the years, the more the buying team has the advantage.
Yeah,
in terms of negotiations. So
yeah.
Same thing goes with Cherki as well.
Yeah.
June 2026. June 2026 is when his 30th of June 2026 his contract expires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes it even more remarkable that, like, we're getting Reijnders for what, up to I believe the final is up to 70 million euro for a player who just re-signed his contract and was meant to be there at Milan till 2030. Like, when you're talking about players being there for another 5 years, you should be looking at pushing close to 90 to 100 million for a player like that. So I think that's another thing that makes the price tag even more remarkable. That you got a 26, 27-year-old ready-made midfielder who could probably get move straight into the Pep ways almost straight away, and yet you're only paying 70 million euro for him.
I don't know how we're swinging that one, and I don't even. Okay, look, AC Milan, obviously they did not make the Champions League, and obviously you lose.
I think that's a big factor.
Yeah, it's a big factor.
Big factor.
But I think if they made the Champions League, we were not gonna scope him for that amount because he just signed the contract, and the AC Milan fans are like, he's just signed a contract. He's betraying us because he signed to 2030, and we're going in there scooping with the 70, which is like about 50 million pounds. And then I don't know. As I told Dabs in the last stream, I think these guys had all this planned because majority of the players were looking at their contracts expiring in 2026, except Reijnders. If you look at Gibbs-White, he's also expiring in 2026, and then Ait-Nouri 2026, Cherki 2026. There might be something.
And to be honest, too, I think in a way we should also thank Bologna as well too for beating Milan in that cup final, because Milan would have been in the Europa League, and I think they probably would have tacked on another 15, 20 million to Reijnders' price tag.
Yeah, true.
So got to be fortunate with that as well.
So Patrick, what you're saying is is that we're coming out of the Tiki free transfer era. The Tiki release clause era, and we're going into the Viana 2 years left on the deal era.
Yeah, basically that means he's looking at contracts, which is smart though. Isn't that what we all want for your director to always make sure he goes for bargains? Like at the end of the day, obviously this is just the City fan in me and being a bit salty. If this Cherki guy performs, this Cherki guy has no pressure, because unlike what the media is going to try to do is they're going to try to ignore all the prices and try to just put a pressure of KDB on him. But at least for me as a fan, I'll look at it and say, you know what, we got him for 30 million. I'll give him time. Unlike if we could have got Wirtz for 150, that's a big target on your back. But I'm telling you, Dubs, just watch how the media is going to flip it. So it'll be like Wirtz versus Cherki. They will ignore the fact of the price. They'll go with, he's taking over KDB. That's the pressure put on him. And hopefully he's ready enough. But Pep is Pep, You might not even see Cherki in the 10. You might not just see Foden if he comes back in the 10 and Cherki just put in slowly. You never know.
This is interesting. Angers have 50% of the sell-on fee for Ait-Nouri. If that's true, then I would imagine we'll probably have to pay closer to 50. Because Wolves are going to... I don't know if you lot, by the way... Patrick, you might have been on with me when we were talking about Delap.
Yeah, Delap, yeah.
Ipswich
30%.
Ipswich are making no money on Delap,
Wait a minute, with the 30% sell-on.
Wait, they paid 20. They're selling him for 30, and we get 30% of that.
Yeah.
So really, how much are they getting back?
That's a bit violent.
My maths is all over the shop.
They're making I reckon they're making about 3-4 million.
No, actually, you're right. Yeah, because bought for 20, sell for 30, so that's 10 million profit. 9 of that 10 million goes to us.
Jesus.
What is your parachute payment when you need it?
They should have put 50. They should have put 50 or 60 million on him. I think these guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only blonde tanned Stavros Martin. Hello, mate.
Hello.
And you returned. Is it sunny up there?
It looks like an Academy Award.
Yeah.
Well, two of them.
Martin, we were just saying, fucking Ipswich have made $1 million on Delap.
Yeah.
What type of shit? Whoever their sporting director is needs to be sacked very quickly.
You gotta love some of the money that's coming through already, and we've barely even wiggled a finger.
Yeah.
What, 25 million for Perrine. You're going to have another 3 million, I think, come in for Jacob Wright. 9 million for Delap.
Yeah.
Plus, God knows what's going to come through from this Premier League 2 winning side as well.
Hold on. Just from what you've just said there, we've already paid for Cherki.
Yes, we have.
But great business. You know what? The whole Cherki Wirtz thing is it's a difficult conversation, right? Because obviously, as City fans, when we say, do you know what, Cherki? And by the way, let's remember, my good friend Monts did a video on, I think Thursday or Friday, on his on his channel, talking about how much Liverpool were going to pay for Wirtz. Well, you were wrong, because it's not done yet. Your bid's been rejected, and it's still ongoing. So we don't actually know what the final price is for they're going to pay for Wirtz. But however much I wanted Wirtz, if not getting Wirtz means we get Ait-Nouri and Reijnders, that's going to be what, 80 million. And do you know what? We could get Cherki, Ait-Nouri, and Reijnders for the same price as Wirtz.
Mm.
You have to be real and say that's pretty good business.
Yeah.
It is
back to the average spend is 25 million quid a player.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm just more impressed by the fact that we decided to pull the plug, whether we were forced by whatever Wirtz has said to Khaldoon or anything like that. I'm just glad that we pulled the plug early when we did.
Yeah.
But also, too, I'm not taking anything away. I think Wirtz is a great footballer, one of the best midfielders in Europe, easily, hands down.
Yeah.
But the fact that we've just gone to our, not even our plan B, our plan A minus, and we haven't just gone with, okay, the first choice was obviously the best midfielder you can get on the market out there, basically. But what we have done is we haven't just changed the dynamic. We've gone and bought about 3 or 4 different sort of dynamics on how we can play our midfield from now on.
Yeah.
And I think I'll turn around and say it'll be better than Wirtz until it actually happens on the pitch. But right now, I'm just looking at it now, and I'm just like, as every day goes on, and everything that we've been linked to, and everything that we're moving forward towards, I'm sort of forgetting the fact that we didn't get Wirtz. It does linger in your mind that they are going to go to our biggest rival in terms of competitive.
Yeah, that's
it. But that's as far as it goes.
Yeah. And I do think, right, and also I would say that Liverpool are probably getting a player that suits them more, right? Wirtz probably does suit Liverpool more, which isn't good, by the way, because Liverpool are getting a player that suits them well. But I also think that with Cherki, we're getting a player that probably suits us that little bit more. I personally think with the players we've already got, I think it suits us.
Do you think the manner in which it's being done, though, Daps, is sort of like a role reversal? Because the whole Wirtz thing sounds like something that we would do.
Yeah.
And this whole getting a couple rebuilding your midfield sounds more like something that Liverpool would do.
Yeah. It's 100%
does feel like a bit of a role reversal.
Yeah. Yes. You seen the news on Kovacic as well, by the way?
Yeah, Foggy posted something. I thought he mistaken because Calvin Phillips had the same thing, didn't he?
He's going to be out for 2 to 3 months, so you might as well take him off the going out list.
Yeah, we ain't going to be able to sell him with that injury.
So he will be staying. Trust me, I know about Achilles. Painful little one.
Yes, you Greek Stavros, you definitely do.
Which why I do think we still will need another midfielder. I still think we need one.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying. But I don't think it'll be Morgan Gibbs-White now at that price.
No.
Yeah. Do you think Marinakis is just paying too? Like Marinakis seems to be playing like as if he's just had coffee dates with Tony Bloom and Daniel Levy. He just wants to push a hard sale.
The way he is, to be fair, Wolfie did say this weeks ago that he would be a lot of money.
Yeah.
We knew it would be.
Yeah, that's the thing. Livramento is going to be a lot of money if you want to get him out. Anyone who's homegrown is going to cost money. There is 20 million quid bonus on top because they're homegrown.
Yeah.
So anyone who's homegrown, who's quality, or got anything about them within their team, it's going to cost money. Now, I watched while I was away, because by the way, my missus was going balmy at me while I was away, because my phone was literally going bing, bing, bing.
Well, you need to tell her that's what happens when you marry an ITK.
Yeah,
my phone was bing, 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 and I'm like, okay.
Martin, it was easier last year because when you went to Turkey, we had nothing. We had no bloody transfer news.
We didn't buy anyone.
If she wants the holidays, then she's got to accept that during the transfer window, an ITK's phone is never off. Okay.
Yeah,
never off. Out having dinner. Sorry, got to take this.
Funnily enough, that did happen. Dinner. Phone call, crap, back in a minute.
Should be getting home complaining, saying he just keeps saying here we go every half an hour.
I mean, at one point I rang him. He was like, "Sorry, I'm in the lift. I need to go down and meet Fabrizio." I was like, "Okay, sorry, it's network."
it was that with his sunglasses on.
Though, I've just passed Ornstein. Give me a sec.
So my best mate is a videographer for Live Golf, but this weekend he was covering the Champions League final pitch side for Qatar Airways, and he doesn't watch football. So back in the day, he filmed Nathaniel Klein's birthday party and was like, send me pictures going, who's this? And I was like, bro, that's fucking Firmino. He was like at after parties with them. Anyway, he was pitch side on a Saturday, and he messaged me and said, I've just had to do some content for a guy called Kaka and a guy called Fabrizio. Do you know who they are? And I was like, fucking hell. Yes,
Yeah,
bro.
because
I know who they
Fabrizio's
are.
had Qatar Airways all over his social medias lately, hasn't he? So
Yeah.
he must have scored. He must have scored a side gig with them or something.
Yeah. But where were we? What were we talking about? Yeah, Kovacic. I saw someone say we bought Gundogan when he had an injury. The difference is that Kovacic is 31. So I think
that's the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, Gundogan was not 31 with an injury. Kovacic is now 31 years old with an injury. It's going to be difficult to sell him.
Yeah,
when do you think
Gundogan had a fair bit of game time already under his belt when we signed him as well.
Kovacic is probably going to sign, 2-3 year deal max?
Yeah.
And you've got the first 3 months, 4 months of that unplayable. That's what makes it harder.
Right. So if you think during this transfer window who we've been linked with, because I do hear what you're saying, Martin, because if we get Cherki and we get Reijnders, but then we let Gundogan and Bernardo go, I think we probably do still need another midfielder.
Well, works out. You are right back into 1 or 2 injuries. You're right back to where you were last season, using the kids again.
Yeah. That's where I think maybe on the Ederson, on the what was his name? Ardan.
Ardon Jashari.
The guy at Bruges.
Yeah.
And then there's the other one that we were linked earlier in the window to. Was it Sari?
Gabriel
Sara from Galatasaray, the Brazilian lad. Yeah.
I don't know if maybe that's where someone like that could come in. And I don't know if, we maybe get Cherki, we get Reijnders over the line, and then we cool off, let the transfer window close, the first transfer window close, right? Because City could be thinking, do you know what? Right now, Nottingham Forest are going to play hardball. If we wait till later in the transfer window, by which point, because you've got to remember right now in Nottingham Forest, not only is the fact that they might want to get as much money as possible, but also there's the fact that they don't want to sell one of their best players because that kind of would show anyone they're going in for their ambition, right? Ultimately, we've just sold one of our best players. Whereas if they get players in while he's still there, and then later in the window, they're like, right, we've got players in, we can now let him go. They might let him go for a bit less. So I don't know if City probably still want Morgan Gibbs-White, but they maybe just want to hold fire on it for a little bit to see if the price drops. And if it doesn't, I mean, people are right. Rico Lewis and Nico O'Reilly, both of them in midfield. And this is a beauty. I like Rico Lewis, by the way. And Nico O'Reilly, both of them. If we get fullbacks, we then now have Nico O'Reilly and Rico Lewis that can play in their actual positions at last. Or CX Bomba. Let me have a look. Bear with me. What we got? Quick refresh. Martin, you're not going to let City Extra beat you to a Bomba, are you?
Well, he's still in holiday mode. It's fine.
Oh shit!
I only got off for playing 2 months. 2 months, 2 hours ago.
What do you say, Daps? What's City Extra saying?
So Pep Guardiola has indicated that both Ederson and Stefan Ortega will stay at Manchester City this summer.
Well,
Pep, I don't know much about goalkeepers joining / leaving Manchester City. I tell them to stay. We've talked about the situation of the squad, and the 2 goalkeepers we have will stay. Fucking hell, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm
only happy if he signs a new contract.
Yeah.
That means he goes into his last year. He's out of contract in 2020.
I'm not. Why?
Well, you want Ederson to go on a free?
Why not?
We're letting everyone out on a free.
Well, hold on. Okay, Martin. Well, we've let all of our legends go out on frees, yes.
Yeah, there's a difference. Ederson's not a legend.
All right, that's your opinion. In my opinion, Ederson is a legend.
No.
Right. So if we look at the players we've let go on a free, we've let David Silva go, we've let Kevin De Bruyne go, we've let Sergio Aguero go, we've let Vincent Kompany go, Fernandinho go, we've let, and Kyle Walker will go on a free. We've let all players that give about 10 years because it's sweating your asset. We've got the money out of the asset. That asset can go on a free for me.
No, that's fine.
Why do you not see Ederson as a legend?
I think he's a cult. He's going back into the cult hero legend status. I think he's a cult hero. I don't think he's in the Kevin De Bruyne company stature.
Oh, he's not Kevin. Hold on. Of course, he's not Kevin De Bruyne, but what? He's a legend, bro. For me, is Kyle Walker a legend to you?
Minus his behavior.
Yeah, minus his behaviour. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I mean, he should be allowed to full legend status when you've got rival fans saying that he is arguably one of the best right backs, the best right back in Premier League history, then that's enough to be sort of a legendary status in the club.
So I agree with that. So Martin, who's Manchester City's best goalkeeper of all time?
For me, Joe Hart.
Fuck off. See, for me, Joe Hart is cult hero. Joe Hart for me is a cult hero.
The thing is, I think Joe Hart was a better goalkeeper than Ederson.
Do you think we would have won everything? Do you think we would have won everything we won with Joe Hart and not Ederson?
Not under Pep. I'm not saying under Pep. So there is different players for different tactics in it. But for me, Joe Hart was a far better shot stopper than Ederson ever was.
I wouldn't disagree with you on that one bit, but that we know.
But that's what a goalkeeper's job is. Goalkeeper's job is
not in this era. It isn't. Not in this era. It isn't.
Well, so what's striker's job? Then?
Hold on. We're talking about goalkeepers. A goalkeeper's job is to make his defense feel comfortable in all situations. Right. So we've seen keepers who aren't comfortable with the ball at their feet make our fucking fullbacks drop 20 yards deeper and come in. They're not comfortable. Ederson allows our defense to be comfortable.
Ederson's the unsung hero of the treble. Ederson's the unsung hero of the treble season too, Daps.
See,
I
really do. He was the unsung hero.
This is why I don't use
titles.
I don't use titles as a thing. Like PK's his opinion, 6 Premier Leagues, 2 Every Cups. I get all that. So is Darren Fletcher a legend of Man United? Is Johnny Evans a legend of Man United?
I mean, some United fans will say yes. No, but it's not just that. It isn't just that. But this isn't just. I agree with you on the trophies thing, but I don't know. For me, and like you said, we're different. Joe Hart for me is a cult hero. Joe Hart is a better shot stopper, but I don't think we would have been as successful with Joe Hart in goal. Do you know what? The fact that Joe Hart's even come out and said it himself.
No, that's fine. But I always look at Joe Hart at that Barca game, that Dortmund game at the Etihad, the Tottenham game at White Hart Lane, where literally without Joe Hart, we're getting beat 5-0 in all them games.
I hear you, but then we could
I've never seen Ederson do that.
I mean, I don't know. I would tell you
I've not seen Ederson pull off save after save for 90 minutes.
I hear you, but I would also say that without Ederson in every single round of the knockout stage of the season we won the treble, he made vital.
I agree.
He did.
Hold on. Also, what I would say is that while you can talk about that with Joe Hart 100%, if you were to have Joe Hart in goal, then for the whole of the last 8 seasons, we would not have been playing the same football. Literally not the same football. So would we have beat Bayern? Would we have beat Real Madrid? Probably not, because we wouldn't have played the same football. We've seen it when Ederson is taken out of goal and someone is put in. We look different. We just don't look the same. So I do hear you. Look, I'm surprised you said Joe Hart. I thought you might have said Bert Troman.
Well, that's
I was going to say Bert Troman, but Bert Troman's been immortal.
Yeah,
Through story alone, he's immortal.
Yeah, but the thing is with me, Pat, I've never watched Colin. I've never watched Colin Bell live, so I can't put him in the. So I know a lot. I've never
for the same reason.
live.
It's like I acknowledge, because you acknowledge the stories that were told from people who were there.
Yeah.
In the same way that I've always said, I would still put Colin Bell as an honourable mention in terms of compared to today's players, because when you hear about the quality of the player himself, it's not only that, but also too. We talk about how athletic footballers have to be these days, and yet you talk about how athletic Colin Bell was at the time in the 60s and 70s, where he was so far ahead of the curve in terms of how he trained his body and how he was basically able to play 90 minutes. And then when he came off the pitch, he wasn't even out of breath. And that's something that if he was that far ahead of the curve at that era in football, then he could easily have played in today's game and probably would have been one of the best players in the world.
Goalkeeper's a hard one because if you go back to Bert Troutman days and all them, they weren't even wearing gloves. And they were saving like bloody, stone balls back then.
With a broken
so many of them these days now
with a
getting
broken
like,
neck?
Yeah.
No, but all right. Let's go back to the initial point on that though. Was Ederson going on a free? So if we were to sell Ederson this summer, honestly, what do you think we would get with him for him?
30
Right.
I was going to say about 25.
I'm not going to lie. I think him staying for one more season's worth that.
Would you be more, Martin? Would you be more forward if you let him go on a free, and it meant that we could get, say, Costa or one of the keepers we're interested in for less money than what we paid this summer?
No, but that's the problem, though.
Because it sort of just rounds itself out. Yeah.
I don't think you will get a goalkeeper of that ilk for cheap. I don't think, because Garcia is going to
not for cheap, but just slightly cheaper. Because City don't want to pay the release clause for Costa. But maybe if we wait another year, they might be willing to be a little bit more negotiable.
Yeah,
they have done a lot. I mean, he's come from Pep, so whether I believe that or not, I don't know. Because the trouble is, Pep said he didn't want to smoke.
Your phone hasn't rang yet, has it?
No,
it might be fake news. Martin hasn't had the phone call
Martin's got Pep on hold.
Yeah. Hold on, Pep. I'm on with the South Stand. Give me a minute, mate.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be a bad
rude, Pep. Very rude.
It wouldn't be a bad thing to still. It wouldn't be a bad thing to still hold on to the two keepers, isn't it? It would.
Yeah.
Because
Pep, smash the like button, you dickhead.
We know you.
Stop ringing me while I'm on air. Give me 5. You know what I mean?
I think keeping Ortega. If we keep Ortega and Ederson, then I'm mad happy.
You're going to lose them both for free. You're going to lose them both for free. You're going to have to pay money on 2 keepers.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with that. Fucking hell! Look at this guy trying to balance the books.
I don't know. I just think Pep saying that they're going to stay. Maybe there is a hope that maybe someone like Fernandinho, who was obviously very close with Ederson, may have gotten his ear. Maybe they might be able to persuade him to stay longer. You don't know.
There was rumours that Ederson may sign a 12-month extension. That's what they were looking at. So they could maybe get money
yeah.
Because Costa, the big issue with Costa is Porto are not coming off that asking price of that release clause. They've agreed personal terms. That bit's done. That all the donkey work on that's done. It's just the fee they can't get round.
Do you know what? I kind of agree with this comment, because if you imagine, if we're bringing in 2 new fullbacks, right, and all this change, I could imagine that Pep might want the stability of the same keeper.
Yeah, but you didn't say random dude. Costa is not a random dude.
Hey, listen. Hold on. We're allowed to call Costa a random dude because what do you call Pep Guardiola?
That manager.
No, that guy.
Yeah,
if you're calling our greatest ever manager that guy, then I will call Costa any dude.
By the way, guys,
I call Costa that bang average coffee, but yeah.
By the way, guys, I have a show later on Pep, so you're gonna hear that guy a lot or that manager. Yeah, just tune in.
What is it? A negative show? One of those ones?
It's not a negative show. It's actually a positive show.
Is Alan on? No.
Hold tight, Alan, about? Actually. Haven't spoke to Alan for a couple of days. Shout out to Alan.
That must be a record.
Do you know Daps? Do you know Daps? You want to see?
I wish I was the same.
By the way, Daps,
breaking news. It wasn't Pep on his phone, it was Alan.
Yeah, by the way, Daps, you want to see a lot of me this week because I have tagged Martin back. Martin is back. I've tagged him back.
I heard you say yesterday you did 5 shows.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Generational.
Generational. There we go. It's YouTube heritage.
Yeah, you were moving mad with some of your streams, Patrick. You were moving crazy.
Do you know what you have to do? Even if you can't be the best YouTuber, just be the consistent one. Just show up.
Listen, YouTube loves consistency. Right. So Alan. Patrick. Sorry, not Patrick. Martin. 3rd time lucky.
Call me Alan ever again.
Where are we? Where are we with Reijnders at this point?
He'll get done this week. He'll get done this week. The Cherki Reijnders and Ait-Noure will go to the Club World Cup, I believe.
Okay. What is so Fabrizio's got Here We Go. Ornstein's got Bombas. What are Martin's?
I don't know. I'm not the ITK. I'm the middleman to the ITK. I'm the guy who.
I don't know. We need to come up with what Martin's are called. I feel there should be
called
called
Just call me middleman.
Middleman Martin.
Middleman Martin.
Middleman Martin. And it could be, I don't know, the wife is on hold. That's what his slogan is. The wife is on hold.
I'm away again in 6 weeks.
There we go. When there's breaking news, it's Middleman Martin. The wife is on hold.
Did
And
you hear that?
then the statement: Reijnders, Cherki, Ait-Nouri will be done before the club World Cup.
I know what Martin's call would be if we have a signing or something, or if a signing doesn't come through, it'll be just give over.
Give over, yeah. But the other talking point, Martin, was Oscar Bob, right?
Yeah. Pep loves him. Pep wants to keep him. I think the issue with Bob, or the worry with Bob, is the game time for him. Because the trouble is Bob's past the stage of doing the 20-minute game, 15 minutes.
He's 22, 23, isn't he? How old is he? 22 now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. He's sort of done that. That injury's sort of killed him a little bit.
Yeah, it's pushed him back. Yeah, it's pushed
couldn't
him back.
Couldn't have happened at a worse time.
Because the plan
couldn't have happened at a worse time.
Yeah, Oscar Bob was going to start the season last season, going into the Chelsea game.
Yeah,
that was the plan, and then he got injured. And I think I've been told it will depend. Reportedly, I would say it will depend on the squad size, numbers, who's in and who's out. But
and to be clear, it is Pep doesn't want him to go. He wants him
to. He wants him to play football
to get game time.
Pep said at one point that he thought that Oscar Bob's development was further along at the same age as Phil Foden.
Yeah.
When Foden was the same age.
He was the next one up. Oscar Bob was the next one up from the academy. Yeah. That was the plan. He was the next one up, the big one to play. Like,
Martin, who's that?
No, but
is that Ait-Nouri's agent?
No, it's Viana. But he looked at it and just swipes him away. Fuck off.
Do you see this guy? He's gone on vacation. He's got a nice fancy smartwatch, and he's going on vacation in 6 weeks again. This guy is ITK days feeding him.
I presume Bob isn't seen as homegrown because of his age.
No, he is homegrown. Yeah, he's
homegrown. Yeah,
all right. So in that case, if we let Bob go, this is a really good point. If we let Bob go on loan, then we're making a bigger issue of the homegrown thing.
Gibbs wide, way out down.
Yeah.
Wide.
Get rid of
He's in a position where he can fight for first team football.
Yeah, I don't see him leaving. My issue is when I would check is where is Cherki's position going to be? Because the Pep Ljinders thing is
that's a good point.
This is the key in this Pep Ljinders thing.
Yeah.
Pep Ljinders likes to play with 3 forwards.
Right.
Which in my head, and this is only in my head, I've got Haaland, Mamouche, and Cherki over the 3.
All right. Sorry, let's have a conversation with this. Does Pep Ljinders?
I don't know you might dock you there.
I was going to say get rid of.
Pat wanted me to say Doku on the left.
No, I was saying get rid of. I'm saying keep Bob. Get rid of Doku.
Stop it!
Oh, you'll break Pat's heart.
I know. I'm watching it. Actually, I really like yesterday. I do like when I see Patrick giving Grealish props, but
because no, I am right though. I don't know why. Look. At the end of the day, I was putting pressure on him. I used to put pressure on him because he was a baller. But am I not right that this guy was brought to this team and he's been mistreated? It's good to just accept sometimes. Because even fans say,
how's he been mistreated? Whoa! How's he been mistreated?
I think he was not given the right platform to succeed or the right tools. Because I think he's a number 10 and he needed that number 10 role to be free. But he was put at the left. He did the job, and then people say, "Oh, he was destroyed by Pep." Not particularly, but I just think it's unfair he was put there because he was limited at the left-hand side, and he did the job. Do you know, like I feel like somebody who is working, Martin, and they've gone to work and they've just been told to do something, and then other people are like, "Oh, you're not very ambitious. Why are you not doing this? Why?" But they're like, "This is what the boss wants, and this is what I think he wants." So that's why I'm just saying that it's a bit unfair on him, and the fact that now, when there's a chopping board, he's being number 1. I know he's not happy, but I don't blame him. I wouldn't be happy if multiple times he said in an interview, "I like playing as a number 10, but my manager wants me to play at the left wing. I'm happy with that." He said in the England interview. So I just think that if there was a chopping board right now, let's say if some of these players, if I was stopping seriously, I wouldn't be stopping Jack. Jack would be useful, but I know the end has reached now. It's just for me.
That's the key. Look, we can argue till we're blue in the face about what there could be, like where Jack could be played.
Years old. Now he's 29, so he needs to play.
We could argue where Jack could fit into this City team all day long. But the truth is, he ain't going to. If this season, with our squad depleted and our midfield needing legs, our 10's not performing, with all of that, if Grealish still did not really make it into this team much, we just have to understand. Like, he got left out of the squad on the last day of the season, right?
Yeah, it's over.
He's gone. He's gone. Sorry, another tweet from City Extra. Juan Garcia is a very good goalkeeper. Manchester City is interested in 500 players every transfer window. He's an Espanyol player, and I don't know what will happen. Players tell me he's an extraordinary goalkeeper. So, in other words, Pep's saying that he wants Garcia.
The trouble is, I think Garcia wants Barcelona.
Yeah, I agree with. I think he does. I think he probably knows that staying there will probably.
I don't know what's happened over there, but they've really gone against Ter Stegen over there. The media against Ter Stegen over there.
Yeah, they have they're going savage on him. Yeah,
I don't know what he's done wrong.
Let me just see what the likes are on. The likes are on 183, 184 people, nearly 350 people, 325 people in here, which means some of you haven't hit the like button yet. We're a new channel. Please make sure you hit the like button. It really helps the channel a lot. Right. So, last thing I want to talk on, and we just touched on it a minute ago. Yeah, go on.
Can I just talk about this? I've listened to this the last 3 days.
Hold on. The comment below.
Yeah.
I have a question. Yeah. Who's more the pep talker? The pep talker or the pep talker who gives Pep a pep talk?
Pep talker.
Shoulders back, smash it.
And that's the thing, right? That someone just said, Pep Ljinders likes to play with 3 up top.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that Pep Ljinders is walking into this gaff and telling Pep how he's playing next season.
That's what I'm about to say. Just because I think there'll be some in sort of way of doing it, but Pep Guardiola is the boss. Pep Guardiola will get the final say it.
Yeah.
Believe that. What I've read over the last 2 or 3 days is as though Pep Guardiola's become the number 2 and Pep Ljinders has become manager.
Yeah. But I must say that I do remember at Liverpool, at one point during his tenure at Liverpool, he started getting a lot of blame for things that people were saying, oh, this is Pep Ljinders' way of doing it. This is what Pep Ljinders wants, not what Klopp wants. Now, I take that with a pinch of salt because I know that Liverpool fans will do anything to protect Klopp, right? So they would throw Ljinders under the bus. But it is interesting because Pep has said that he wants someone to come in and challenge him with fresh ideas.
Yeah, of course, challenge him. We're not telling him what to do. Yeah. There's a difference between challenging him.
Well, we just know from reputation straight away that Pep Ljinders is going to do things that Juan Leo never did.
Yeah,
and that's question him. Offer a different alternative.
He wants
be willing to stand up to him and say, "I'm not sure about this. Maybe look at this." And I think Pep has enough respect for him, and there's certainly a mutual understanding. One, because obviously he's going to be employed at the club. But also, too, I just think that maybe Pep wants someone who is actually going to stand there and be willing to challenge him and see what they can muster up together.
Well, I was going to say, right, Martin. I think personally, you were spot on. And by the way, this isn't because I've seen a lot of talk recently about people that say, "Oh, I don't know why people are saying that City can't play with wingers." Right? I don't think anyone's saying City can't play with wingers and fullbacks, but I do think what people are saying is, Martin, you being one of them, that if we look at the back end of the season, we look at our signings, there's a good chance that next season we see fullbacks being the players that hold the width, and then we play with 3 forwards, but they're more the likes of Marmoush, the likes of Cherki, the likes of Bob, the likes of Foden, the likes of Echeverri, which ultimately are wingers, but they're actually it's a lot more narrow, right? Now, that suits the way Ljinders wants to play, right? So is
Well, when I mean wingers, see about this debate, I mean direct wingers. There's a difference between being a direct winger and a winger.
Yeah.
A Doku, as Pepper said 1,000 times, is he struggles coming inside.
Pause.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. He struggles on the inverted. So no, it's what I mean. You know what I mean? You just.
No, we don't know what you mean. You just came from vacation, so yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know what you were doing on vacation. Maybe you weren't answering your phone for other reasons. But anyway, right. So, I think the one is when you look at Marmoush as well. That we haven't spent the money we've spent on Marmoush for him to not play. He's going to be playing, and Marmoush works his ass off. By the way, so I think
Khaldun said it in that interview. We're buying
what you just said on your phone, on your watch.
I've got a certain profile. They're versatile. They can move around. They can play different positions.
Yeah.
We've got to come up. This thing has never changed. If you look at Livramento and you look at Ait-Nouri's best attribute is getting up and down that left-hand side.
Yeah.
Like he did at the Etihad a few weeks back.
Yeah.
When he smashed one against the post.
Yeah.
Comes inside, bang. Puts it against the post, and we were lucky we got away with it. So that's what the idea is what we want him to do for Manchester City. What Doku is then got to learn, if he's going to do it, is either hold the width and not come forward, or he has to invert inside, which is the part Pep Guardiola has said he needs to improve on. That's all it is.
Do you? I mean, look, for me with Doku, right? I think Savio's an interesting one. See where Savio fits into this, but I do think it's not saying we won't ever play with wingers. I think there will be times where we do still play with wingers.
Yes, different keys for different lots.
Yeah. And it's certainly when games are stretched, maybe we'll see wingers come on, like Doku coming on for the last 30 minutes, Savio coming. Do you know what? I was watching Savio's best bits the other day, and I think I've been a little bit harsh on Savio. Because I haven't been Savio's biggest fan this season, but when I looked at some of his... Remember that goal? I think it was against West Ham? The Haaland goal.
Oh, yeah. The mad cross from the left,
No, it wasn't just a cross. It was the way he beat the players and then just whipped the cross in. And it just confirms to me, I wish we could see Savio on the left. I want to see Savio on the left.
This is what I keep telling people. I think we've been harsh on both of them. And I think it's the fact that's the reason why I want to bite my tongue until I see the World Cup. I also want to see next season. I just want to see, okay, because I'm still adamant that as soon as you fix that midfield, I think you fix that midfield, you get competent fullbacks, which looks like City are doing. The system gets fixed. I think the wingers will look better that way because even right now, Savio, the time when he got an assist, where I think it was Savio or Doku, one of the two, Doku Savio, they got an assist. It was Bernardo Silva who scored. That was the first time I saw 4 City players in the box.
Yeah, that needs to improve.
So he had options, and even the last game we played, the reason why Gundogan
perfect timing below. Box
Gundogan was box crashing. Remember, Doku gave him the ball.
And then false nine Gundogan was the best box crasher in the game.
Yeah,
so this is the way he read the game in terms of the right time to arrive in the box to make the ball was exceptional.
And on that, Reijnders is good for that. But I'll be honest with you, there's another box crasher we're forgetting. Well, fucking Rodri.
True.
Rodri in his last season, became more of I'm pretty certain if you were to look at Rodri goals, they went up, right? Rodri started as the season without Gundogan, Rodri was crashing the box a lot. And remember, we didn't have him last season. I also think that Gonzalez is going to be a box crasher as well. So I actually do think Gonzalez is one we often forget about. And
a lot of people keep forgetting it. That's why when people are saying, "Oh, we need this," and you're like, "What about Nico Gonzalez?" I'm pretty sure somebody with his technique and his ability to play multiple positions, he can get into the thing.
Patrick, when you think about it, we've actually got a bit of a trio of number 8s and number 6s, if you want to call them, in terms of Kovacic, Nico G, and Rodri, who are absolute bullseye when it comes to those shots just on the 18, who just hang around the 18-yard box.
Yeah.
How many goals did we see from the 18-yard box this season from Kovacic?
A lot.
How many iconic goals has Rodri scored from around the 18-yard box?
A lot.
You know, and the most iconic of all, the one that will define his career at City, obviously in Istanbul.
And then Nico G.
You know,
did
and then
one
Nico G's popped up with a good one, and he hangs around the 18-yard box as well too. Given time, he'll be a threat there as well too. So if that's going, and let's not forget as well too, and add it as well. If you have a look at what Tijjani Reijnders has been doing at AC Milan as well too, how many times he's been popping off shots from 18 yards, roughly around the 18-yard box area. We could be such a threat. You know, you look at it and you could almost like, I'm not going to make it as a hot take, but like those sort of players by the end of if we have a really functional season, a really successful season this year, there might be an argument to say that, you know, we expect Haaland to score the majority of the goals next season, but you could turn around and say, yeah, we just got 4 midfielders, two that have just been signed 6 months apart, and combined across those 4 midfielders, they may have scored a total amount of goals that could be the same or roughly the same or even more than what Haaland scores. It's just another case of offering a different dynamic in terms of goal scoring, because it's like, okay, on this occasion, Haaland's got three defenders around him. Well, guess what? We've just got two or three amazing midfielders playing in this game. They'll just pop them in whenever they get a chance on the 18-yard box.
Yeah,
so it's just bringing in even more and more dynamics in terms of goal scoring opportunities.
Yeah, I think as well we can put Nico O'Reilly in there. By the way,
box crusher, yeah.
There's a box crusher. Vardy.
I think Gundogan's been getting into Nico O'Reilly's here, because some of his movements in some games have been quite similar to what you see Gundogan in previous years.
Yeah, agree. What's this? But City is signing 2 more strikers. Are we?
No, none of the strikers an academy striker. Come down. That's an academy striker.
No, they're talking about the PSG fella.
They're talking about
PSG kid.
The Sangari.
Yeah. Come on, bro.
That's for Divine. Divine is leaving. Remember, to Ipswich.
I think he's going to Ipswich alone, is what I heard. Divine, November. They don't want to sell him though. They don't actually want to sell him. They only want to loan him. But they can only loan
10 million.
They can only loan 6 over 21. I think under 21, they can loan as many as they want. So I don't know how much. But I don't know. Has anyone seen Simon Bajowski? Apparently, he thinks Ait-Nouri will be the first one in.
Bro, look,
it seems Ait-Nouri.
I think just being a Premier League side, I think they can move a bit quicker.
Yeah. I think we've got a relationship with Wolves. I've been saying this. We have got a relationship with Wolves. We've done business with Wolves.
How much did the news report come out after we signed Nunes? Went completely under the radar. They said if Wolves hadn't if we hadn't signed Nunes from Wolves, Wolves would have breached PSR.
Yeah, they should have. Yeah, so
it was like one article and it got swept under the rug.
Yeah,
nobody
talked about it. Remember, correct me if I'm wrong, but Wolves, I'm pretty certain pretty much all of Wolves' players are fucking managed by Mendes, right?
Yeah, yes. Mendes is the guy.
They're all done by this.
They are basically sporting Wolverhampton.
CAA. I can't think of the other name. There's a someone will put it in the comments.
I think Mamouche is with that agency, isn't he?
Yeah. They're all with their agents.
Yeah.
That's where they've gone to.
And this is the thing, like we know Viana's got a great relationship with Mendes. Even before Viana, City have got a great relationship with Mendes. So getting that deal done will not be difficult at all. Like probably very easy. Mendes and City are like that. Sometimes I don't know if it's a good thing. If we get Ait-Nouri and we got Mamouche, then maybe it's starting to become quite a good thing. But last thing, super chat from Spartacus, who is saying now that the Morgan Gibbs White deal is off, put another 150 million on that fee and get Pedri. Also, Hold on. Let me finish super chat. Also, his best attribute is that he comes inside and bang, pause. Yeah.
Ignore that because he's only doing it to wind me up. Because every space we do, he comes in and says, if we're going to spend this money, I get paid. He's a Pedro lover and he wants to
Is Pedri your new Joshua Kimmich?
No.
He's your new Joshua Kimmich, isn't he?
That's the only player Spartacus wants. It's the only one he wants.
The thing is, with Pedri, with Yamal, it makes me laugh. The Yamal one is hilarious when people talk about, we should go and try and get Yamal. Why waste time? Like these players are not going anywhere. A year before,
even Musiala is a dream.
If you want Lamine Yamal, you actually will have to pay that ridiculous €1 billion on the release.
Yeah, you will because
you would have to. You'd have to.
And even then, it's a year before the World Cup, right? And furthermore, for Barcelona, let's be clear with Barcelona right now. They are, I think, about a year away from the stadium being complete.
Doesn't it open the same time as ours, the North Stand? I think
About
by
the same
halfway through
time,
the season, I think it's ready.
Yeah. Right. They are at last. So they've just won the league, right? Correct me. They did win the league, didn't they? Yeah, the Barcelona did win the league.
Yeah, they won a domestic treble.
Yeah, right.
They did.
Right. So they've done the domestic treble. At last, Barcelona are getting back to where Barcelona want to be, and just in time for the opening of the stadium, right? And there's a World Cup in a year's time, right? There is no way that any of Barcelona's top young players that are leaving. It's not happening. The sponsorship deals they're going to get on that new stadium with the players they've got. It would be stupid to go in for Yamal because he ain't going anywhere for a long time.
Do you know who I could see going to Barcelona? Maybe this summer, maybe next summer. It could even come in January. And I think Arsenal fans are going to hate this. Gyökeres.
What, to Barca?
I think Gyökeres would be the perfect Lewandowski replacement when he finally goes.
Yeah, maybe.
I could see that happening.
Yeah, maybe.
Just before you go, what is there a price you would get Livramento? Do you think? All right, I'll put it in a different way. Do you think if there is a price we can get Livramento for?
We're saying 80. We said
80 million.
Yeah, I was saying about 75, 80 maybe.
They bought him for 40, Martin. For 40.
So it was 40.
No, I'm just thinking, do you think City will... Because I'll be honest, I'm going to tomorrow. I do think the homegrown is something we do have to seriously look at very soon.
Yeah, 1,000,000% we do. We have
within 12 months we're screwed if we don't sort that out.
Well, the good thing is, look, if Ederson and Ortega stay, then I'm putting my money on Carson getting a contract extension.
Might as well.
I'd rather give it Spike Breaks or the other one.
No, because Scott Carson won't be our third choice keeper, but he'll still be part of the quota.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And I know you're trying to cheat your way around it.
Yeah, Carson is not our third choice keeper now. If Ederson and Ortega went out for the last 2 seasons, I don't believe Carson would start. We'd start a youngster.
He's such a lucky man, isn't he?
Oh, Kyle Walker wouldn't have gone to Milan.
Yeah.
His true calling. Yeah.
So I do think you're right, but I don't know. That's where I think personally, and that's what I like, that with the Wirtz thing not happening, right? I do feel like City have thought, okay, cool. We still need that, at very least, that one homegrown player. But they've gone, all right, well, we'd possibly rather pay the money for Livramento than we would Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
And I agree with it. I would agree with it. Look, I just was watching LB and Nobbins a minute ago, and they said something that I think is so true, that is 80 million for Livramento a lot of money? 100%, right? 80 million for any fullback is a lot of money. But he's the homegrown quota, like you said, Martin, that's an extra 20 million, right? If we look at the other players out there, I think someone mentioned Jed Spence. If you think, right, Livramento is better than Jed Spence, right? But if you think you're going to get Jed Spence for less than 50 million off of Tottenham, not a chance in hell.
Daniel Levy is his own tax on his own.
Yeah, so
60 million just for talking to him.
But I think the key is, right, that if we pay 80 million for Livramento, then you go, that's a lot of money. But if overall, at the end of the transfer window, you look at it and you go, we've got a right back, we've got a left back. So we've got Ait-Nouri, we've got Livramento, we've got Cherki, we've got Reijnders, right? And that in total costs you 200 million, right? You're not mad at that. You're looking at the overall package. All right, we overpaid on Livramento, yes, but we underpaid massively on Cherki, and maybe even underpaid on Reijnders as well. So,
yeah, Dubs, do you know what I think the thing is? If we're saying like one player is too expensive, so we'll just use those funds for something else. It just feels like the Harry Kane, Jack Grealish situation again. We're not able to use the funds on what we want, so we're just gonna move
change the strategy.
We're just gonna move in a different direction and use those funds for something else.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. It was just like we'll look at being savvy in the market if we need to get another midfielder, but let's put our big core resources in terms of funds on funding something else. And if it's Livramento, then so be it.
It's a good age for Livramento, though, isn't it? So unlike Jack, who's 27 years old, but for Livramento, it's a good age. But has anybody thought this? Do you know how City plan all this stuff, right? they keep telling us that we've planned everything. I'm pretty sure, you know how these directors know about football. I'm pretty sure they have, like as a businessman, I remember when I used to run my dad's business, I used to know exactly that if I'm going to that guy and I'm going to ask for this spare part for the truck, there's a chance they're going to sell it. I've already had my spies go there. So maybe City already have found somebody who has said they will give you a Livramento for a certain price. That's why they're going after him.
Yeah, I don't.
They can't just have him for the sake of no. I think they have already tested waters somehow.
They must have been shown something that if you keep testing, they might say. I agree with you on that, bro. I do agree. I do agree with you 100%. You wouldn't bother chasing something if there's absolutely no chance. And fact checker saying never in a million years will we pay 80 million for Livramento. Do you know what?
This is the year, my friend.
So who do we pay? Who do we pay for then? This is why I'm asking. Where do we go then?
But I would say that with it,
someone will say Adam Wharton.
But agreed, and I think Livramento is better than Adam Wharton. I think Adam Wharton, is a risk, massive risk, right? But with Livramento, what you'd probably see is that it would come out that it's probably 50 million with incentives that add up to about 80 million. Like it will never be straight 80 million, but.
Yeah, it'll be easy incentives too. So, like, if we win a Premier League in his first season, 20 million.
I believe that it's also who we are, where you're buying from. I think if
That's
you
a
were
good
buying,
point,
Newcastle United, who are absolutely trying to move forward as a football club and do things.
Yeah.
Now, I know the thing is the same problem as them. They're not, they're going to have to replace. And they don't want to buy a middle-of-the-road player. They want to buy someone who's just as good as Livramento, if not better. So they're going to have to spend the money. They've not got the cash flow like we've got.
Yeah.
So they're entitled to ask for this. We've got to stop doing this. Oh, he's not worth it. He's not this. The club will have to do, because at some point, because of the situation we are in, we're going to have to pay over the odds for somebody.
Yeah. And this is the thing I've said.
Don't forget as well too. Livramento can play left and right.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
That
pay
versatility
over the
is valuable as well too.
We've only got three left. Yeah, by getting Livramento, we've kind of almost got three players. Right?
Otherwise, we end up walking away from every deal in the world. We'll be putting verts on every deal. We're walking away from everyone here because they're not 25 mil.
Do you know, people make me laugh. They're like, oh, we can never pay 80. We paid 50 for Walker. We paid 50
in
for
2017.
years
That's
ago. Yeah,
inflationary. It probably adds up to close to 80 million.
Yeah, so, man, if you're coming to me and I bought Livramento for 40, there's no way I'm selling you for 50. You are going to
That's
pay
what I mean.
Yeah, 100%. And bro, the English tax is a thing. The age
20 million. English tax 20 million.
Yeah,
Add on that. 20 million, we'll start with that.
English tax. The fact he can play left back and right back, and the fact that his age, we are going to pay a lot. And so, do you know what? Someone made the perfect point there. Sometimes you get good deals. Sometimes the deals aren't so good, but you have to pay it. And with this one, it's not going to like I said, the Cherki deal. If we end up paying 40 million euros for Cherki, right? That is an absolute fucking steal, right? That is an amazing deal. Because of that, we can then go and put a bit more on Livramento. I think that's the difference. I think that's why, along with the homegrown thing and maybe pulling away from Morgan Gibbs-White, you got to remember, about 2 weeks ago, we were being linked with on the right was a guy called Wesley from Brazil that none of us know anything about, right? And that was going to cost about 40 million. This extra 40 million budget has come out of somewhere. And it's come out of Verts. You've gone, okay, well, if we're going to end up getting that position filled for less money, let's realign that money to a different position. So, and even more so, if we end up pulling out more, let's say we were going to pay 80 million for Morgan Gibbs-White, but end up getting Reijnders for 60 million. We've just saved another 20 million there.
Well, think of it this way: we are going to have to buy. I think the reason I think we're about to buy another midfielder as well is, if you think about it, KDB's gone. There's one.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish is probably going to go. There's two.
Yeah.
You're going to lose McAtee. There's three.
Gonzalez came in. That's one.
Yeah.
Marmouche for Grealish. That's two.
I did write the whole list down. Hang on. Let me just get the list up.
So you were going to lose. By the way, guys in the chat, 52 million for Benjamin Mendy years ago.
Yeah.
So you're telling me
oh, this is it. Right. So you were going to lose KDB, McAtee, Gundo potentially, Bernardo potentially, and Jack J. Kovacic is probably going to say.
But then, hold on. hold on. But if we say Grealish, where Grealish plays for City, not where we want Grealish to play, where Grealish plays for Manchester City, Grealish's replacement is Omar Marmoush, right?
Yep.
Okay. So then we say, did you say Gundogan?
Yes.
Gundogan's replacement is Reijnders. Who else did you say?
Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo Silva.
Bernardo Silva's replacement is Nico Gonzalez.
What?
No, I'm not doing like.
Isn't Nico Gonzalez the replacement of Phillips?
But what I'm saying is that we're talking where
I
we
see
were
where you're
in
going.
January to where we are now, the number of players that it's not
So
as.
would you say then James McAtee's replacement is O'Reilly?
Nico,
Maybe,
right?
yeah, maybe, yeah. But we will see. We will see. Just last one, actually. Did anyone see? I saw this earlier on. Thought it's worth mentioning. Theo Hernandez.
Why do I get the feeling Theo Hernandez is just going to become the new Isco for us? It's just going to be rumoured every single summer. It's just going to be rumoured.
Saudi want him.
Apparently, he's been offered to us, but City haven't shown any interest. So, just thought, how would any of you lot take him?
In a heartbeat.
He's a baller.
Yeah.
Why is City not interested?
Because I think they want silly money.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's why they're offering him.
By the way, everyone's going about the market. Is Bruno Fernandes worth over 100 million quid? Get out of town. He's 31 years old.
Yeah, I agree. Do you know what? One of the best points I saw is how the fuck are they going to get 100 million for Bruno Fernandes, and we got what 25 for fucking Riyad Mahrez? Is insane.
This is what I mean.
It's. I don't get it. I literally don't fucking. I mean,
even Laporte. I think we downsold Laporte. I think so.
40 to 15 million we got.
Yeah, it's mental. When whoever did that deal fucking fucked up badly. I'd have Riyad Mahrez back now. Anyway, right, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to the two Patricks and Martin for joining me. Will I go live later? Maybe. Depends. If I get any more here we goes, I will probably go live. Patrick, are you going live now?
No, I'm going with Martin.
Right, okay, people. Well, this is going to redirect over to Never a Foul, my other channel with Cass and Mont. If you can stay on the stream, go over there, drop a comment saying South Stand Raid and smash a like on the video. We're going to be going live.
Just saying, I'm going live at 2. I'm going live at 2 o'clock now.
Oh,
well, you've changed the time.
Martin, hold on.
Yeah, because it's 20 to 2 now, Pat. Unless you want to go live in the middle of the live.
Yes, let's go live in the middle of the live.
Bear with me then. In that case, people, stay where you are. This is going to redirect over to Martin, and then
I've
Martin.
not even set it up yet. I'm in the middle of setting it up.
Oh, well,
I've literally said I've got off a plane 2 hours ago.
Right. Well, in that case, I learn to multitask. I know you've got a lot of ITK news coming in, but you could have been doing that while we were on this show.
Multitask. Look at him here.
No, you have to be doing it while you're live. I've done it before.
Have you got that BBC music off LB?
I'm making that work.
Huh?
Have you got the BBC music off LB?
No, why?
We should be playing it whenever Martin's on.
Hey, I actually wonder how LB plays that without getting a copyright infringement.
Yeah, I'm also surprised. Yeah, there's a lot of people who keep playing the music on their channels. I'm like, how are they doing that?
I played music once and instantly got a copyright ban. So
maybe it has no copyright infringement to it.
Oh, yeah, I'll check that. Yeah.
But anyway, right, people, we are out. As I say, please head over to Never a Foul, smash a like, and at 2 p.m, make sure you tune in to Martin on Mancunian Way. We are out. And what shall I leave you with? Let me leave you with this.
I can't lie. Shop anywhere else, LB. Bro, yo, listen. If you want a premium steak, mate, yeah, you go to the butchers or you go Waitrose, bro. And I'm sorry for saying, you're the butchers / Waitrose, mate. And you got that premium steak that we need, mate. Yeah, I don't want no fucking some hanging tough meat, mate. Yeah, pause. Yeah, we need some.